Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel brought lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the Spirit. Quick little lesson, Lord's will to be edifying. And I want to say Salaki about earlier, man. I did it in transit. But Esau shut the live stream down, and for whatever reason, it didn't record. It didn't post to the YouTube like it normally do. So I did like a little follow-up part to kind of close the lesson out, finding out that part one wasn't up there. So I just deleted the whole video because it didn't make sense to just get a last part of a closing introduction when you didn't get the gist of the video. So, it happens, man. It's part of the process. But I wanted to go into going through the straight gate, okay, because I was listening to a couple of videos, mainly by Apostle Tahar, and, the elder Apostle Tahar basically went into how we get ready to be tested and tried, all of us, according to Revelation, the second chapter. What is it? I think it's the third chapter when it goes into the hour of temptation that should come upon the whole world. Okay, even you Israelites out there that claim that the mark of the beast or the MOT to the busy bone ain't the chip. As we know, according to the scriptures and according to prophecy and according to just common fucking sense, man, the MOTB is none other than the chip. Anybody that can't see that is because, hey, you either sold out or you just stupid as hell. And I'm gravitating towards option A. A lot of you dudes out there sold the fuck out, man, all right? And that's just what it is, because ain't no way in hell that this prophecy about the MOTB is speaking, is screaming, is yelling at you. And you got Israelites out there denying the fact that that's part of the prophecy, and what it's talking about is because, hey, they took that purse, man. You got these magistrate-ass jakes, But anyway, the straight gate, man, counting the costs, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. You have to count the costs. And a lot of guys are coming to this truth, or to the truth, I like to say. A lot of the guys didn't really count the cost because, it's something to be a part of. It's something to be a part of. It's cute. You can go out there, you be bold. But then when that affliction, that fire hits your ass, then that's when you start to be like, oh, shit, I ain't expect that. It's like when you go into that fight, that heavyweight fight, thinking that you prepared and you trained for this opponent, but you didn't necessarily train for the style of that opponent. And then after the third, fourth round, you started getting hands put on you, and you like, oh shit, I ain't expect it to be like that. But that's how it's gonna be when all hell break loose, man. Because a lot of men in this thing, they profess to know Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai and say it in word and lip, but are they truly about the adversity that comes, man? Because hey, I'm praying like, man, Lord, let me be ready, because shit, hey, this thing the scripture says it's gonna come upon them unawares. Now, we're fully aware of the fact that this thing is gonna happen, but overall, the adversity, the type of tension that we're gonna be under for holding strong and stern to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai is gonna be on a whole different level, man. And you gotta be leveled up in the spirit. Okay, we're gonna see a lot of men that's gonna give up their faith. As Yahweh Shai said, he said, when I come on the earth, should I find faith? You have a lot of men that's gonna throw in their garments, throw in the towel like, look, I had a good run, but now fuck this. Motherfuckers taking my family out the crib. They demonizing us. Motherfuckers trying to kill us. They trying to put me in jail for something I ain't do. It's a lot that comes along with the truth, man. So you have to have your mind prepared to undergo that, And it's really a spirit that has to be on you in order to foresee and to be able to objectify that. You got to have a certain spirit on you. The Lord had to just put it in you to say, fuck it, I'm going to go through it no matter what. And you got to believe that you're ready. Okay. So this is the book of Matthew 7, and it says the subcaption, and I love these subcaptions because it makes it easier for your reading. But it says the narrow and wide gates. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many be there which go in thereat. Okay. And it says many because, like I said, you're going to have more Israelites that's going to be destroyed and that's going to be delivered. And I'm talking about specifics in men in this truth. Okay. You're going to have men in this thing that, you just knew they were the men of the Lord, and then they going to end up getting hit, getting caught with a shot they didn't see coming, and it's gonna knock them out, man. They always say be the ones that you don't see coming that knocks your ass out. And we have to be mentally prepped and trained up so we can be able to take the punch, even if we don't see it coming or we embrace for it. You got to be able to take the hit, man. You know, because hey, the Most High, he has stumbling blocks for each and every last one of us if you want to get our ass out of here. Because the Most High knows you. He knows, okay, if he know women is your weakness, children is your weakness, money is your weakness, or career is your weakness, and you're not pleasing it to the Heavenly Father, he'll throw that stumbling block in front of you. And you'll trip over it, and before you know it, you out the truth. Okay, we've seen it happen time and time again, man. Men that I was very close with in the faith back in the world were teaching some kind of weird doctrine. You know, it's just like, wow, I never thought that this guy would be. But as the Lord said, he's not partial in judgment, nor does he respect the person. He's not a respecter of persons. Okay, so let's look up the word straight. The word straight in the Greek goes into stenos, right? Which means a narrow or straight. So think about it, like when you going on a, how can I put it? What's the example? Let's get a good example. Like, okay, if you on a bridge, right? Let's just say if you on a bridge and it has holes in it, it doesn't have a guardrail, but it's shaky and the wind is blowing. But yet you have to cross that bridge in order to get away from the dangers. You got to go through that narrow path, man. Okay, and that's just what it is. I remember when I was younger, I was like 8, 9, maybe 10. It was a group of us. They used to grow in these, we stayed in like these 3-story buildings, and it was like a crawl space underneath the building that leads all the way down to the basement. And you know, it's dark down there in the basements. Like if I was to show you a video of the basements and shit, like where we grew up at, like in the average apartment, they may have like laundry facilities down there, but it wasn't nothing down there but old abandoned storages and like, you know, appliances for the lights and stuff like that. But it's just eerie as hell, you know. You got mice and cats and shit down there, all spiders, and it smells derelict, you know. Look like something off of look like a Freddy Krueger boiler room or some shit. So we all had a mission to make it through the crawl space under the building in the dark to get to the outside of the basement. But the danger was going through the crawl spaces because we didn't know what was in it. We just all went in a straight line and we followed each other until we was able to see the light. And then we was able to come down and go through the basement, go up unlock the door from the inside, and then go up the stairs to back outside the apartment. You know, in some cases, the damn light wasn't even on, so you had to remember the way. Okay, and that used to scare the shit out of us because we called it the pit. We used to do it like at 9, 10 o'clock at night. We shouldn't have been outside that late, but you know, house parties and shit, your family drinking, you know, we out there running around in the con. And it was a community anyway. Everybody knew each other. But we called it the pit. You know what I'm saying? And shit. Sometimes you gotta go by yourself, sometimes you gotta go with 10 of y'all. It was one time I went by myself and I actually made it to test myself, you know, but I was scared as hell. I'm like, man, I don't want to get caught under here. You know, but that's the same thing, you know, as far as the truth. You know, it's scary. But you keep going because what else you gonna do? Like when Yahushua said to the disciples, he was like, shit, because you had men that stopped following Yahushua. And Yahushua said, what you gonna lead me to? And then they said, well, Lord, where we gonna go? And that's the mentality you gotta have. There's nothing outside of this truth that will benefit you. Okay, no matter how much hell you're catching in life, your family, your woman, your loved ones, your job, whatever the telltale case may be, no matter whatever happens, you don't want anything to separate you from the love of the Heavenly Father. So at the end of the day, you will learn to appreciate the straits so you can see the broad. All right? And sorry for that long-ass example, but, you know, brothers that know me, I tend to be a little bit long-winded and thorough in certain examples. But anyway, it says, enter ye in a straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, right? Because like I said, there's going to be more men in this thing that falter under pressure than that's going to make it. Okay, it says, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth to life, and few there be find it. Okay, it says few, and that few is talking about the elect, because out of 8.5 billion souls, you only have 144,000, and you have a great multitude, which can roughly be of a couple of million Israelites, man. But compared to the masses of the world, there's only a few people that's gonna make it. Okay, because when you times Or when you do the math, 144,000 plus, let's just say 6 million Israelites compared to fucking 7.5 billion people, that's a very few number, you know? So keep that in mind, brothers, man. This only way through this thing is through the straight gate. Luke 13, and I'm gonna start at verses 24. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 19 is really good. Let's start at verses 18. It says, Then said he, Unto what is the kingdom of Yahweh like, and whereto shall I resemble it? It says, It is like a grain of a mustard seed, which a man took and cast into his garden, and it grew, and waxed a great tree, and the fowls of the air lodged in the branches thereof. And this is a parable. It says, And again he said, Whereunto shall I liken the kingdom of Yahweh? And it says, It is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. And he went through the cities and villages, teaching and journeying towards Jerusalem. Then said unto one of them, Lord, are there few that be saved? And he said unto them, Strive to enter in at the straight gate. It says, For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. Yeah, because every man ain't qualified for this walk. Okay, you got men. Every man that's in this truth is obviously called, but chosen. Okay, you want to be called and chosen, because if you just called and you're not chosen, then basically you was only in this thing for a temporal time. And as time progresses, things get wickeder. They start coming down with these draconian measures, man, when, you know, brothers have to get kicked out of their homes and lose their jobs and, you know, go on the run and hide. And things are going to get very, very contentious, man. And you got to tell yourself, look, I'm in this shit into the end. You've come this far. Okay, we passed the first test with the, you know what, the icky vicky dicky, you know, back in 21. We passed that test. So, hey, we coming into the real test, man. Okay, and it's going to be in similar fashion, but it's going to be much more intense, because this time, as Yahweh Shai said, it says you have not resisted unto blood. So certain brothers are going to have to get locked up and potentially lose their lives for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. But that's all good, because Yahweh Shai said, be thou faithful to death, I will give thee a crown of life. And knowing that, that should be your faith to continue to strive for perfection. You know? So yeah, that's it on that precept. Let me get this here, 2nd Ezra 7, and I'll end it. Cause them demons, man, they took down my video earlier. They didn't even put it up, but it's all good. 2nd Ezra 7, and I'm gonna start at verses. Let's start at verses 3. Let's start at 1. It says, And then I have made an end of speaking these words. Salakia, man. The fuck? Salakia about that. That was sent unto me the angel, which had been sent unto me the nights before. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it may be deep and great. And a good depiction of this, or in some degree, was the movie is called, what's the name of that damn movie when that lady was basically stranded at sea inside of a trailer? I forgot the name of it, man. But basically, man, she was stranded at sea, and she was locked inside this big old, this truck trailer, or this trailer. And she was on the sea, man, and she had to do what she had to do to survive. And she gave birth to a baby. That's a hellified test. And she passed the shit, you know? But it says, But put the case, the entries were narrow and like a river. It says, who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? And it reads, if he went not through the narrow, how can he come to the broad? So you got to go through the dangers ahead in order to inherit the straits, or the broad. You know, like the purpose of us catching all this hell ain't because we like to catch hell, it's because we want a greater kingdom. You know, the Lord is putting us through the test to see if we're worthy. And through the transition of this man's kingdom, his fall, coming into our new world, which is, the kingdom of heaven, not the new world, not the real new world order, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven, is going to be full of turmoil, man. Trials, tribulations, people going to come against you. That's why the goodest thing to be, or the best thing to be, is detached from people, man. Because when you're totally attached to families and women's and things like that, it makes your walk that much more harder. Okay. And we're not saying that you can't have attachments to things, because That's natural. You know, you have a woman you love, you're going to be attached to her. Same thing with a child. You're going to be attached to it because it's your seed. But you have to know when to cut that shit off, man. You know, and that's why I'm glad that Yahweh Shemi Shai has given me the spirit to be able to cut certain people off at the appropriate time. You know, and not having all that around me because, hey, family can be a fucking distraction. You know, Pastor Dar gave the example earlier about the micro C to the busy, right? Now, a lot of dudes got families in this thing. Now, he was like, wherever your child and your woman go 3 days without eating and the Lord ain't dealing with them, you could get weak and eventually they can make you take the chip, man. All because you gave in to their demands, you know, which could be a detriment into your salvation. So you got to ask yourself, man, what's more important? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai or my wife or my children in my life, period. You know? And it's easy, you know, and it's easier said than done because when you don't have that around you, it's easy to say, yeah, fuck that. But, you know, when you dealing with a family like me, I got a child and I got family I was close with at a point in time. At times, I put it to you that way, you know, and it wasn't no problem on walking away from my family, like my family, because I'm like, that didn't mean me good any goddamn way. You know, my child was a little different because it was like, damn, this is my kid, you know what I'm saying? But when I realized the type of way that this seed was going to grow up and I wasn't going to have any influence over it because of just the world we live in, I was able to totally detach that from my spirit. I'm like, all right, well, shit, fuck it. Let them deal with that. I deal with it as it comes, you know. But overall, I'm just like, well, fuck it. If they want to do that, they want to play that game, they can play that game. I'm not going to be part of that. So it's just that much easier, man, because, you know, just like as men, we like control, you know. And in this world, control, being a so-called black man, is considered toxic masculinity or abusive or your cultists and all this other madness, man. This is what they say to you, you know. And it reads, it says, and the entrance thereof is narrow and set in a dangerous place to fall, like as there were fire on the right hand and on the left deep water. It's like a fucking Mario game, man. And you ever play Mario Brothers, it's full of obstacles to get to the level just to save that fucking princess, man. You know? But it says here, if this city now were given it to a man for an inheritance, if he never should pass the danger set before it, how should he receive the inheritance, man? It's like, okay, a king, you have to be qualified. They showed you that in the movie Lion King. Mufasa was telling Simba the whole time, like, look, you're going to be a great king, but you're going to have to pass that test. You're going to have to be in that mindset. You're going to have courage. You're going to have, you know, proper, what do you call those people? Dignitaries in your camp, so to speak. So, you know, they can help you to succeed, you know. And as he got older, hey, there's a burden. It's a burden coming with being a ruler, man. You know, now in the kingdom, there ain't going to be no burden on us because we're going to know it naturally. But even then, we're going to have a lot of responsibility on putting this world back in order, man. You know, that ain't a light task we getting ready to inherit. So, hey, brothers, embrace for that. Look at your lessons in life as a stepping stone and as a training simulation to get you prepared for the real battle. You know, don't let your trials knock you out of the park. Even though some trials may seem that they want to destroy you and take your life. But overall, man, you just gotta push through it no matter what. And the Lord gonna give you the spirit to do it. But it reads, it says, if the city were now given it to a man for an inheritance, if he never should pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, it is so, Lord. And he said unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Okay, so that's the point. Because of their sakes, I made the world, which cuts you damn Christians here, because this world is for our sakes. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was the decree that is now done. Then were the entrance of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. This is life, they call life. And they are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. Okay, so that's the point, man. This world is evil, is wicked, it's full of sicknesses, it's full of controversies, it's full of debating, death, murder. Okay, it's full of unfair, uncertainty, fear. You know, it's just, I can go on with how fucked up it is to be in this goddamn world, especially in this flesh, man. We are at our weakest we've ever been, and we are enduring the hardest affliction that we ever had to come across. So that speaks volumes of brothers are doing it, man. You know, but I'm going to end it here, giving out praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify